to Rating the List, where we review, discuss, and reimagine popular movie lists objectively. We're your hosts. I'm Jerry.
And I'm Brad. And on this episode, we will be exploring number 70 from AFI's 100 Years, 100 Passions, the 100 Greatest Love Stories of All Time.
And at number 70, we have Sense and Sensibility, released in 1995, directed by Ang Lee, and starring Emma Thompson and Kate Winslet.
All right, so the synopsis for this period drama is as follows. Mrs. Dashwood and her 3 daughters are left with only £500 a year inheritance after the death of Mr. Dashwood. The bulk of the estate, Norland Park, is left to his son John from a previous marriage. John and his greedy, snobbish wife Fanny install themselves in the large house along with her brother Edward Ferrars, played by Hugh Grant. She does everything she can to prevent the budding friendship between eldest Dashwood daughter Eleanor, played by Emma Thompson, and her brother. The Dashwoods move to Barton Park in Devonshire, a small cottage house on Sir John Middleton's estate. Marianne Dashwood, played by Kate Winslet, meets Colonel Brandon, played by Alan Rickman, and he quickly falls for her. The dashing but deceitful John Willoughby competes for her affection, and Marianne falls for him. On the morning Marianne expects a proposal from Willoughby, he instead leaves for London. Unbeknownst to the Dashwoods, Willoughby has impregnated Beth, Brandon's ward, and been disinherited by his aunt, Lady Allen. During a visit to the Middletons, Lucy Steele befriends Eleanor, confiding she and Edward have been secretly engaged for 5 years, dashing Eleanor's hopes for a future with him. While in London, the Dashwoods encounter Willoughby at a ball. He barely acknowledges their acquaintance. They learn of his engagement to the extremely wealthy Miss Grey. Marianne becomes inconsolable. The clandestine engagement between Lucy and Edward also comes to light. His mother demands he end it, but he honorably refuses and loses his fortune to his younger brother. Marianne cannot resist the urge to visit Willoughby, walking through a torrential downpour. She is rescued by Brandon and is nursed back to health by Eleanor. They return home after she recovers. They learn Miss Steele is now Mrs. Ferrars and assume she has married Edward. However, Edward arrives and explains she has married his brother, thus releasing him from their engagement. Edward proposes to Eleanor and becomes a vicar. Marianne falls in love with and marries Colonel Brandon.
Okay, so
this is one of countless adaptations of Sense and Sensibility.
Written by Jane Austen.
Yeah, it's a classic novel written by Jane Austen set during the Regency period in Great Britain. This is not my favorite Sense and Sensibility, but it's really well done.
Yes.
Like of all of them, I think there's a color palette to this one that's very different than like the BBC version.
It's a lot lighter.
It's much there's just an airiness to it. I don't know how to exactly explain it. Mm-hmm. The colors pop more. They're brighter. Mm-hmm. My biggest issues with this are the casting, and it's cast with people I love. Like Emma Thompson
she's phenomenal.
She's a phenomenal actress.
But she's like 80 in this movie.
She's 36 years old when they're filming this movie.
Okay, she was like, her character was older, like.
Yeah, but she's like 23 or 24.
Yeah, she was not 38.
And she does, like, Emma Thompson is a mature looking woman.
Yes.
So she looks like she's 36, and she carries herself like she's 36.
Yes.
And even like Colonel Brandon is an older character in the story, but he's not Alan Rickman old.
Alan Rickman was what, in his...
He's in his 40s.
Yeah,
at
in
this
his
point.
40s?
Yeah.
Phenomenal actor. R.I.P.
Just a great actor. I mean, everyone in this. Kate Winslet is fairly age appropriate.
Yes.
She might be a little bit too old for the part, but she's at that point she still had,
star power.
Well, she still looked youthful.
Yes.
at that point.
Yes.
In her career. And then Hugh Grant is probably a little bit too old, but he could still pull it off at that point too. He could still play it a little bit younger, but I mean, there are so many great English actors that they could have figured out how to do. Quite honestly, you know, Emma Thompson wrote the screenplay for this. She should have played Mrs. Dashwood. Honestly, I mean that would have been a little bit more appropriate in my opinion. But you know, neither here nor that. The performances are all really good. It's a pretty faithful adaptation. There's a little bit more humor, I think, in this one than you see in some of the other adaptations. Specifically with Mrs. Dashwood, like her reactions to things, she's a little kind of flighty.
Well, that's like in Pride and Prejudice too. The Mr. Bennet or Mrs. Bennet was always like totally off her rocker.
And I think it's in the source material. I just think that some of the other adaptations have more focused on the two love stories.
Yes.
In the books.
Yep.
Than on the kind of like greater family dynamics that are happening, which this one does a little bit. I think this is it's a fairly big story. The BBC version was like 6 hours long.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't watch the Sense and Sensibility adaptation.
I forget how long it is, but it's.
I watched the Pride and Prejudice. BBC.
Pride and Prejudice one's really good too, but I think there are 3.
Did we watch that together?
Yes, we did.
The Sense and Sensibility one. I kind of remember.
I thought we did.
I think you're right. I think we did watch it.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
I think it's about 6 hours. Something like that.
Yeah.
So,
it was pretty good.
Yeah, and then there's the one with Keira Knightley, right?
No, that's Pride and Prejudice.
Is that Pride and Prejudice also? Yeah. So there have been a few of these. It's kind of it goes through the the BBC and
it's
British
a classic
film thing. Like every 10 to 15 years, there's a new version of this. I mean, it's kind of timeless. And if you're over there shooting, you've got all these castles and all these estates. So why not do it?
Yeah.
People love to be in the period costumes, and they love to.
It's a good story. It's a classic story. It's pretty dry in English, so if that's not your bag, don't watch it. There's I really actually like Hugh Grant's performance in this movie because he's very toned down.
Yes.
And he's very humble and he's not a jackass, which he usually plays.
Well, he doesn't play off his charm, which is usually what he does in rom-coms. He plays this kind of charming cad for the most part.
Right.
He kind of plays the Hugh Grant role.
Right. And so this one's a little different for him, and I liked him in it.
Yeah.
And this is a movie that I have seen. It's not my favorite Jane Austen. But Pride and Prejudice, of course. But this is not my favorite Jane Austen option, but I thought this movie was good.
Yeah.
And I thought the actors did really well, but like Brad was saying, it's really like the age bugs me because it's so obvious.
Yeah.
How old they are.
It really is I mean, you can, like I said, Colonel Brandon is an older character, so you can stretch it a little bit even with someone of Alan Rickman's age, but Emma Thompson is just she just wears a maturity on her that you can't really pull off at that point in her career. I mean, she's great, she gets all the great lines, but this is a role she should have played 10 years earlier.
I agree.
Maybe she did. She probably did it on stage or something.
Probably.
Who knows?
Okay, how did we...
So, I gave this one a 74. You gave it a 69, so the list score is 71.5. So, we both liked it, and it's got a good score.
Yeah. All right. Well, please like our video and leave a comment if you have a different opinion or if you agree with us. Please leave a comment. Subscribe to our channel. We'd love to have you. If you want to contact us, you can contact us at ratingthelist@gmail.com. And I think that's it.
Yep. Until next time, I'm Brad.
And I'm Jerry. And we're rating the list.
Bye.
Bye.